Welcome to my rolling studio. Have the sun coming right in on my face. I'm not sure how this is going to look on camera. Probably not good. So something's been on my mind lately is Holy Communion, what some call the Lord's Supper. The church I grew up in was a small Pentecostal church, and I just don't remember them serving communion. Now, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of important. I don't know the significance of it. I've had different thoughts at different times. I do know this, that right after the Apostle John died, probably about 50 years later, a man named Justin Martyr wrote and described what a church service looked like and what they did. One thing he said was they took up collections for the poor. They didn't collect tithes, which this video's about. They took up collections for the poor among them. In another account, it said the churches would take up collections for sailors. I think this was at a port city, and sailors apparently were pretty bad off. But again, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is communion. Another thing they said was they took communion every Sunday. Every Sunday they took communion. And if you were not a known Christian, you couldn't be there for that. So I'm assuming this was at the end. This was like how they kind of ended the service. They would preach the word, sing psalms, or vice versa. I think sing psalms, preach the word, take up money for the poor, ask people to leave, or maybe even make them leave. You know, that was during time of prosecution, so you know, they're real picky about who come through their doors. And then take communion every Sunday. Now in the scriptures, it doesn't say to take communion every Sunday. As a matter of fact, as far as I can tell, it does not say how often to take communion. There are those that believe that once the prayers and blessings are said over the elements, they actually become the blood and body of Christ. Actually. There are others that believe this happens whenever you ingest. Yet there are others who say it's got a spiritual component to it, not defined usually, but some kind of spiritual component to it. And yet others say it's just a symbol, which I don't fall in that camp at all. It's not just a symbol. Paul attaches basically curses to those who take it unworthily. And I don't think a symbol can be taken unworthily. Now, I mentioned the church that I grew up in, that I don't recall that they ever did communion. Again, I was young, wasn't paying attention. They may have, I just don't remember it. Then I went to what became a very large Pentecostal church, and they took communion 2 or 3 times a year. Easter for sure. I think Christmas and some other time. For a while I went Presbyterian. That's right, I've been around the block. And they took it every month. And I thought that was pretty good timing. Then I went Catholic. I told you I've been around the block. And they took it every time the doors are open. But they also believe that the communion gives life, spiritual life. They believe that once the elements are blessed by the priest, that they actually become the blood and body of Jesus. So I can understand why they would take it every time the doors are open. And they open the doors every day. So you can go get your daily dose of Jesus if you wanted to. They said it wasn't necessary, but you could if you wanted to. So how do you feel about the communion? Or the Lord's Supper, whichever you prefer. Write down in the comments below. Just let me know what you think. Y'all have a blessed day.